Hey everyone, turns out not every health tip online is something your body will thank you for.
The internet turned everyone into a doctor, and somehow the patients got louder. 1. The garlic cure-all. Somewhere along the way, the internet decided garlic wasn't just food. It was apparently a medieval pharmacist with Wi-Fi. Got a cold? Garlic. High blood pressure? Garlic. Toenail fungus? Obviously more garlic. The logic seems to be that if it burns your mouth, it must also burn away disease, which is a very bold medical philosophy for something that mostly improves pasta. People online will swear by stuffing raw garlic into socks, taping it to the skin, or swallowing enough cloves to make themselves smell like an angry pizza. And then they act shocked when doctors gently explain that your body is not a cast iron skillet and seasoning yourself from the inside is not evidence-based care. Yes, garlic has compounds that researchers study. No, that does not mean turning your kitchen into a witch's lab cures every problem from sinus pressure to eternal sadness. At some point, people stopped asking, "Is this safe?" and started asking, "How much garlic before I transcend?" Doctors hate this tip because medicine works best when the patient isn't marinating. 2. Drink water. Until every problem becomes a bathroom emergency. The internet loves one solution more than a lazy manager loves a pointless meeting. Just drink more water. Headache? Water. Fatigue? Water. Anxiety? Water. Broken heart? Tax stress? Existential dread? Grab a gallon jug and hydrate your pain away like you're a houseplant going through a divorce. Now sure, hydration matters. Doctors agree on that. The problem is the internet took a sensible idea and drove it straight through the windshield. Suddenly, people act like every symptom is just your organs sending passive-aggressive reminders that you've only had 2 sips since breakfast. Feeling dizzy? Maybe see a doctor. But online wellness gurus would rather tell you to chug water until you can hear your kidneys applauding. And the truly unhinged part is how this advice gets delivered with religious certainty. Like dehydration is secretly behind 94% of human suffering, and the CDC is too cowardly to admit it. Doctors hate this one because it turns actual warning signs into a hydration scavenger hunt. Sometimes you need fluids, sometimes you need treatment, and sometimes you just need Karen from Facebook to stop prescribing Evian like it's a controlled substance. 3. Natural means safe because apparently poison ivy has great branding. The internet is absolutely infatuated with the word natural. Say something is natural, and suddenly it gets treated like it was personally blessed by a forest nymph in a farmer's market parking lot. Never mind that arsenic is natural. So is venom. So is that mushroom in your yard that could end your weekend and possibly your biography. But online, natural remedy has become a magic phrase that makes people trust things they'd never trust in any other setting. A stranger in a lab coat says, "This needs testing," and everyone gets suspicious. A stranger with a ring light says, "My aunt rubbed onion oil and moon water on it," and suddenly that's wisdom passed down from the gods. Doctors hate this for a very good reason. Natural does not automatically mean safe, effective, or appropriate for whatever bizarre symptom someone typed into a search bar at 2:13 a.m. Nature is not your kindly grandmother. Nature is chaos with leaves. And the internet keeps acting like every plant-based suggestion is wholesome, when sometimes it's just a salad-flavored bad decision with a wellness hashtag attached. 4. Lemon water will detox. Your body, the internet is obsessed with detoxing. Apparently, your body is a polluted swimming pool that needs constant chemical treatment, and the miracle solution is lemon water. According to wellness blogs, a glass of warm lemon water every morning will flush toxins, reset your system, and possibly align your spiritual chakras with your digestive tract. It sounds impressive until doctors gently remind everyone that your body already has a detox department. They're called the liver and kidneys, and they've been running that operation since the day you were born. No lemon required. But the internet prefers a simpler story. Squeeze half a citrus fruit into warm water, and suddenly you're rebooting your biology like a malfunctioning laptop. People swear they feel cleaner, which is interesting because the only measurable result is usually slightly minty breath and an urgent need to brush their teeth before the acid dissolves the enamel. Doctors hate this advice because it replaces real medical understanding with kitchen chemistry. Lemon water can be refreshing. It can help you drink more fluids, but it is not power washing your bloodstream. If detox were that easy, hospitals would just install a lemonade stand in the emergency room. 5. Essential oils can replace actual medicine. Somewhere on the internet, there is always a person who believes lavender oil can fix everything from insomnia to broken bones. Essential oils started as pleasant-smelling extracts used in aromatherapy. Then the internet promoted them to CEO of healthcare. Suddenly people were diffusing eucalyptus oil for pneumonia, rubbing peppermint oil on migraines, and treating serious illnesses like they were seasoning a scented candle. The logic usually goes like this: plants are natural. Oils come from plants. Therefore, inhaling something that smells like a spa lobby must have the same medical power as a trained physician. And when doctors point out that essential oils are not regulated treatments for serious conditions, the internet responds with the confidence of someone who read half a blog post at 3 a.m. Yes, some scents can relax you. Some oils may have mild effects. But pouring them everywhere like you're marinating your living room is not a substitute for actual treatment. Doctors hate this myth because it convinces people that smelling like a botanical garden counts as healthcare. Relaxation is great. Lavender is nice. But if a disease could be cured by fragrance alone, every perfume counter in the mall would legally qualify as a hospital. 6. If something hurts, just push through it. Online fitness culture has a favorite motivational slogan: no pain, no gain. It sounds tough, inspiring, and slightly like something shouted by a coach who drinks raw eggs for breakfast. Unfortunately, the internet took this phrase and applied it to every kind of pain imaginable. Knee pain? Push through it. Back pain? Push through it. Shoulder pain that feels like your skeleton is filing a complaint with HR? Obviously, push through it harder. The idea is that discomfort means progress, and stopping means weakness. But doctors and physical therapists hear that advice and immediately reach for an ice pack for their own headache. Because pain is not always a motivational poster. Sometimes pain is your body's emergency alert system waving a giant red flag. Ignoring it can turn a minor injury into something that requires surgery, months of rehab, and a very awkward explanation to your gym trainer. The internet loves dramatic perseverance stories, but medicine prefers functioning joints. Doctors hate this advice because bravery doesn't repair torn ligaments. If pain were just weakness leaving the body, hospitals would replace surgeons with motivational speakers and a playlist of aggressive workout music. 7. Activated charcoal fixes everything you ate. Activated charcoal has become the internet's favorite dramatic prop. According to social media, if you eat something unhealthy, pizza, cake, an entire weekend of questionable decisions, you can just swallow charcoal and magically cancel it out. Detox accomplished. Nutritional mistakes erased. It's basically the dietary version of the undo button. The problem is that charcoal actually does have a medical use. Hospitals sometimes use it in very specific poisoning situations under professional supervision. Naturally, the internet saw that and decided the logical next step was putting charcoal into smoothies, toothpaste, and anything else that could be turned black for aesthetic reasons. People now drink charcoal lattes like they're performing a ritual cleansing of their digestive system. Doctors hate this trend because charcoal doesn't just absorb bad toxins, it can also interfere with medications and nutrients your body actually needs. So, congratulations! You didn't detox your body. You just confused it while turning your breakfast into something that looks like printer toner. Activated charcoal is useful in medicine, but it's not a magical eraser for your diet. If it were, every fast food restaurant would include a charcoal chaser with the fries. 8. Ear candling will clean your ears. Ear candling sounds like something invented during a medieval festival where safety rules were considered optional. The idea is simple. Place a hollow candle in your ear, light the other end on fire, and somehow the flame will vacuum wax and toxins out of your head. Yes, that's the entire plan. Fire plus ear canal equals wellness, apparently. Videos online show dramatic piles of wax after the process, which convinces people the method works. The only problem is that most of that gunk comes from the candle itself melting, not from your ear performing a dramatic evacuation. Meanwhile, doctors are watching this trend with the same expression you'd give someone trying to clean their laptop with a flamethrower. Your ears are self-cleaning systems. They slowly move wax outward on their own like tiny biological conveyor belts. Introducing open flames into that process is less holistic treatment and more creative way to schedule a doctor's appointment. Doctors hate ear candling because it can cause burns, blockages, and injuries for absolutely no benefit. If lighting candles improved hearing, birthday parties would double as medical procedures. 9. Apple cider vinegar fixes. Literally everything. If the internet had a medicine cabinet, it would contain exactly one bottle, apple cider vinegar. According to countless blog posts and social media experts with suspiciously glowing skin, this tangy brown liquid can cure digestion problems, melt body fat, stabilize blood sugar, improve skin, and possibly convince your plants to grow faster. The logic seems simple. It tastes aggressive, therefore it must be powerful. People drink it straight, dilute it in water, mix it with honey, or take daily shots like they're training for the world's strangest cocktail competition. And yes, apple cider vinegar does have some mild effects in certain situations. But the internet treats it like a medieval elixir discovered by a wizard who also invented salad dressing. Doctors get nervous because drinking large amounts of vinegar can irritate the throat, damage tooth enamel, and mess with certain medications. Your digestive system is not a rusty pipe that needs acid poured into it for maintenance. Apple cider vinegar can be useful in cooking and occasionally in small dietary contexts. But it is not a miracle cure. If sour liquid solved every health problem, pickle juice would have replaced pharmacies centuries ago. 10. Holding your breath means your lungs are perfectly healthy. One of the internet's stranger health tests claims you can check your lung health with a stopwatch. The idea goes like this. Take a deep breath, hold it as long as possible, and if you reach some magical number, usually around 20 or 30 seconds, congratulations, you are apparently immune to respiratory problems. If not, the internet dramatically suggests something must be terribly wrong. Doctors hear this and collectively sigh so hard it probably registers on weather satellites. Lung health depends on many factors: oxygen exchange, airway function, heart health, overall fitness, and dozens of other biological details that cannot be summarized by a kitchen timer. A professional lung test uses specialized equipment, trained technicians, and actual data, not a person standing in their kitchen counting seconds like they're participating in a freediving contest. Some people can hold their breath longer simply because they practice it. Others can't because they're anxious, tired, or just finished climbing stairs. Doctors hate this myth because it turns complex medical science into a party trick. If respiratory medicine were that simple, pulmonologists would replace their labs with stopwatches and a motivational whistle. 11. Sugar makes kids hyperactive. The internet, and about 3 decades of parenting panic, has firmly convinced people that sugar instantly transforms children into tiny caffeinated tornadoes. One cookie, and suddenly the kid is bouncing off furniture like they've been hired to test trampoline durability. Parents swear they can see the exact moment the frosting hits the bloodstream. But here's the twist that tends to surprise people. Controlled scientific studies have repeatedly found no consistent evidence that sugar directly causes hyperactivity in most children. The real culprit is often something much simpler: excitement. Birthday parties, holidays, bright decorations, loud music, and a room full of other kids already vibrating with energy. Add cake to the situation, and suddenly the sugar gets blamed for chaos that was inevitable anyway. Doctors don't deny that too much sugar isn't great for long-term health, but the hyperactivity myth refuses to retire. It's become the nutritional version of blaming mercury being in retrograde. Doctors hate this myth because it distracts from real issues like balanced diets and sleep routines. Sugar may cause cavities and energy spikes, but it doesn't magically install a jet engine into your child's nervous system. 12. Cracking your knuckles will give you arthritis. Every kid who ever cracked their knuckles eventually heard the same warning from an adult: stop doing that or you'll get arthritis. It's one of those health myths that's been passed down through generations with the confidence of ancient wisdom. The sound itself is unsettling, like tiny popcorn kernels exploding inside your fingers, so the warning feels believable. But medically speaking, the story doesn't really hold up. The cracking noise comes from gas bubbles forming and collapsing in the fluid between your joints. It's less bones grinding together and more your joints opening a tiny soda can. Several studies have looked into whether habitual knuckle cracking leads to arthritis, and the evidence just isn't there. One famous doctor even spent decades cracking the knuckles on only one hand as a long-term experiment. After years of scientific dedication and probably annoying everyone in the room, both hands were basically the same. Doctors don't particularly love the habit because excessive joint manipulation can irritate tissues, but arthritis is not lurking around the corner waiting for a finger pop. The myth survives because the sound is disturbing. Your joints just happen to enjoy dramatic sound effects. 13. Detox foot pads. Pull toxins. Out overnight somewhere in the universe of online wellness products, someone decided the human foot was secretly an exit door for toxins. That idea gave birth to detox foot pads, little sticky patches people place on the bottom of their feet before bed. The next morning, the pad turns dark brown or black, which supposedly proves that toxins have been heroically extracted from your body while you slept. It's a clever illusion. In reality, the color change usually comes from simple chemical reactions with sweat and moisture. In other words, the pad didn't pull toxins out of your body. It just got damp. But the dramatic visual transformation makes it look like your feet spent the night vacuuming your bloodstream. Doctors dislike this trend because it encourages people to believe the body works like a clogged air filter. Real detoxification happens through organs like the liver and kidneys, which work continuously whether you're sleeping, jogging, or binge-watching documentaries about conspiracy theories. Your feet are excellent for walking, balancing, and occasionally stepping on Lego bricks with devastating consequences. But they are not a biological waste disposal system. If toxins exited through your feet, socks would require hazardous material warning labels. 14. The 5-second rule makes dropped food safe. Everyone knows the rule. If food hits the floor but you pick it up within 5 seconds, it's still safe. Apparently, bacteria are extremely polite and wait for a countdown before touching your pizza. The 5-second rule is less a scientific principle and more a survival strategy invented by hungry people who just dropped something delicious. The truth is that bacteria can transfer to food almost instantly, depending on the surface, the moisture of the food, and the types of microbes present. A slice of watermelon hitting the kitchen floor is basically sending out engraved invitations to bacteria. That said, the real risk varies a lot depending on the environment. A clean kitchen floor is very different from a subway platform or a public restroom tile. Scientists have actually tested this rule in laboratories because of course they have, and the results confirm what common sense already suspected. Time helps, but contamination can happen immediately. Doctors hate the myth mostly because people treat it like a guaranteed safety window. Your immune system can handle plenty of everyday microbes, but that doesn't mean gravity automatically activates a countdown timer for bacteria. 15. Sleeping with wet hair will make you sick. For decades, parents have warned children not to go to bed with wet hair because it will give you a cold. The idea sounds logical in a storybook way. Cold temperature plus damp hair equals illness. But viruses, the actual cause of colds, do not care about your hairstyle. You catch a cold by encountering respiratory viruses, usually from other people or contaminated surfaces. Going to sleep with wet hair might make your pillow uncomfortable, and it might leave you waking up looking like a confused sea creature. But it doesn't magically summon viruses into your sinuses. This myth probably survived because people tend to get sick more often in colder seasons, and wet hair feels like it fits the narrative. Doctors understand the appeal of simple cause and effect explanations, but biology rarely cooperates with that kind of storytelling. The real factors behind colds involve immune responses, exposure to viruses, and environmental conditions, not the moisture level of your scalp. Doctors dislike this myth because it distracts from the actual ways illnesses spread, like close contact with infected people. Wet hair might ruin your hairstyle. It might annoy your pillow. But it's not secretly collaborating with viruses to sabotage your immune system. 16. Sitting too close to the TV will ruin your eyes. For decades, parents have issued the same dramatic warning. Move back from the TV or you'll ruin your eyes. The tone usually suggests that sitting 3 feet from a screen will immediately trigger permanent vision damage, possibly followed by glasses the size of satellite dishes. The myth likely started back in the 1960s when a few early televisions emitted small amounts of radiation. Manufacturers fixed that problem quickly, but the warning stayed around like a stubborn family rumor. Today, modern screens, from TVs to tablets, do not damage your eyes simply because you sit close to them. Kids often sit closer because they can focus more easily at short distances, not because they're secretly sabotaging their vision. Doctors explain that screen time can cause eye strain, dryness, or headaches if you stare for too long without breaks. But that's a temporary comfort issue, not permanent eye destruction. Doctors dislike this myth because it turns normal behavior into unnecessary panic. If sitting close to screens permanently ruined eyesight, every gamer, programmer, and office worker would legally qualify for a seeing eye dog. 17. Cold weather automatically gives you a cold. The name common cold did a lot of marketing damage to medical science. Because the illness includes the word cold, people assume chilly weather must somehow create the virus out of thin air. Step outside without a jacket, and suddenly you're supposedly inviting microscopic invaders to your sinuses. In reality, cold weather itself doesn't produce viruses. Colds are caused by viruses like rhinoviruses, which spread through respiratory droplets and contact with contaminated surfaces. The reason people get sick more often during colder months has more to do with human behavior than temperature. When it's cold outside, people spend more time indoors in close quarters, sharing air, breathing near each other, and basically hosting a microscopic networking event for viruses. Dry winter air can also irritate nasal passages, making infections slightly easier. Doctors hate the cold weather causes colds myth because it oversimplifies how infections spread. Wearing a coat is great if you want to stay warm, but your immune system doesn't collapse just because your ears got chilly on the way to the car. 18. Reading in dim light will permanently damage your eyes. This warning usually appears when someone is reading under a blanket with a flashlight or trying to finish a novel in a poorly lit room. The claim is that dim lighting will permanently damage eyesight, as if your eyeballs will slowly file a complaint with management. In reality, reading in low light can make your eyes work harder, which may cause temporary strain, fatigue, or a mild headache. Your eyes have to adjust to the reduced brightness, and that extra effort can feel uncomfortable after a while. But discomfort is not the same as permanent damage. Doctors and eye specialists consistently explain that dim lighting does not cause lasting harm to your vision. The real downside is simply that your eyes get tired faster, which is your body's polite way of suggesting you turn on a lamp. The myth likely survived because adults wanted kids to stop reading late at night instead of going to sleep. Doctors hate this one because it confuses temporary eye strain with long-term eye disease. If dim light truly destroyed eyesight, candlelit dinners would come with a liability waiver. 19. You must drink exactly 8 glasses of water. Every day, few health rules have achieved the fame of the 8 glasses of water a day guideline. It's repeated in fitness apps, diet blogs, and motivational posts showing someone heroically chugging a gallon jug like they're preparing for a hydration Olympics. The idea sounds scientific and precise, which makes it very appealing. Unfortunately, it's also overly simplified. The human body's hydration needs vary widely depending on factors like body size, activity level, climate, diet, and overall health. Someone running 5 miles in the summer will obviously need more fluids than someone sitting in an air-conditioned office all day. On top of that, people get water from many sources besides drinking glasses of plain water. Fruits, vegetables, soups, and other beverages all contribute to daily hydration. Doctors generally recommend drinking when you're thirsty and maintaining a balanced intake of fluids rather than obsessively counting glasses like you're completing a daily quest. Doctors dislike the rigid 8 glasses rule because it turns hydration into a one-size-fits-all formula. Your body already has a built-in notification system called thirst. It's been working reliably for thousands of years. 20. Cracking your back realigns. Your spine back. Cracking is oddly satisfying. People twist, stretch, or lean over a chair until they hear a dramatic series of pops that sound like bubble wrap under pressure. The internet often claims those pops mean your spine is being perfectly realigned, as if you just performed a miniature chiropractic miracle on yourself. In reality, the sound comes from gas bubbles forming and collapsing inside the fluid of the joints between vertebrae. It's basically the same physics behind cracking your knuckles. While stretching your back can relieve tension and temporarily feel great, it doesn't mean you've just corrected spinal alignment like a trained professional. Doctors and physical therapists warn that aggressive or repeated self-cracking can sometimes irritate joints or surrounding tissues. Gentle stretching and movement are healthy, but turning your spine into a DIY sound effects machine isn't exactly a medical treatment. Doctors dislike the myth because it encourages people to think loud pops equal therapeutic success. Your back might feel better for a moment, but those noises are just bubbles, not a full spinal tune-up. 21. Vitamin C prevents you from ever getting sick. Vitamin C has enjoyed decades of fame as the superhero of the supplement world. According to countless internet posts, if you take enough vitamin C, your immune system becomes an impenetrable fortress. No cold, no flu, no sniffles, just glowing health and citrus-powered invincibility. The idea gained popularity partly from influential scientists in the past, and partly from clever marketing by supplement companies that noticed people love simple solutions. Vitamin C does play an important role in immune function, and getting enough of it through diet is important. But the belief that massive doses will prevent all illnesses doesn't match scientific evidence. Studies show that regular vitamin C supplementation may slightly shorten the duration of a cold for some people, but it doesn't reliably prevent infections in the first place. Once you're already sick, extra vitamin C isn't a magical off switch for the virus. Doctors dislike this myth because it encourages people to treat supplements like shields against illness, while ignoring more effective habits like sleep, hygiene, and vaccination. Vitamin C is helpful, but it's not an invisible force field made of oranges. 22. If your urine is completely clear, you're perfectly hydrated. The internet loves simple health indicators, and urine color charts have become a favorite diagnostic tool. According to many wellness influencers, the ultimate hydration goal is crystal clear urine, apparently the biological equivalent of winning a gold medal in water consumption. The clearer it is, the healthier you must be, right? Not exactly. Doctors explain that pale yellow urine is generally a normal sign of good hydration. Completely clear urine can actually mean you're drinking more water than your body really needs, which sometimes just sends you sprinting to the bathroom every 20 minutes, like it's a competitive sport. In extreme cases, excessive water intake can dilute electrolytes in the body, which is definitely not the wellness victory people think it is. The body is very good at maintaining balance, and hydration is about moderation, not turning your bladder into a decorative water fountain. Doctors dislike this internet tip because it encourages people to chase a visual purity goal instead of simply listening to thirst and maintaining balanced fluid intake. Your body doesn't award bonus points for colorless pee. 23. Detox teas will clean your body and melt fat. If online ads are to be believed, detox teas are basically magic leaves that can cleanse your organs, boost metabolism, flatten your stomach, and make you feel like a wellness guru in yoga pants. Influencers hold aesthetically pleasing mugs, promise mysterious toxin removal, and casually imply you'll wake up looking like a fitness model after a few cups. The reality is far less glamorous. Many detox teas rely on ingredients that act as mild laxatives or diuretics, which means the dramatic detox feeling is often just your digestive system being aggressively encouraged to empty itself. That temporary weight drop people see is usually water loss, or, quite literally, the result of frequent bathroom visits. Meanwhile, your liver and kidneys continue doing their regular detox job without needing herbal backup singers. Doctors dislike detox tea culture because it confuses marketing with biology. The human body is already equipped with an efficient detoxification system, and it operates 24 hours a day without requiring exotic tea blends. Drinking tea can be relaxing and enjoyable, but it's not secretly scrubbing your organs like a pressure washer. 24. Coconut oil is a cure-all superfood. At some point, coconut oil graduated from cooking ingredient to full-time internet celebrity. Wellness blogs started claiming it could improve heart health, boost brain function, strengthen hair, heal skin, speed up metabolism, and possibly solve your Wi-Fi problems if you applied enough of it. People began putting coconut oil everywhere, on toast and coffee and hair, on skin, and occasionally in places that definitely never requested tropical cooking products. Coconut oil does contain certain fats that can be useful in cooking and skincare, but the internet often treats it like a miracle substance discovered by an island wizard with a nutrition degree. Doctors point out that coconut oil is still high in saturated fat, which means using large amounts of it daily isn't automatically healthier than other cooking oils. Like most foods, it's fine in moderation but not a magical health potion. Doctors dislike the myth because it encourages people to treat a single ingredient like the nutritional answer to everything. Coconut oil can be tasty and versatile, but it's still just oil, not the edible equivalent of a superhero cape. 25. Eating late at night automatically causes weight gain. The internet has turned the clock into a diet villain. According to countless health posts, eating after a certain magical hour, usually 8 or 9 p.m., causes your body to instantly convert food into fat like a biological storage unit. Midnight snacks are treated as if gravity suddenly doubles inside your stomach. In reality, weight gain is primarily influenced by overall calorie balance, metabolism, activity level, and long-term habits. Your body doesn't suddenly switch into fat storage mode the moment the sun sets. What actually happens is simpler. Late-night eating often involves extra calories, mindless snacking, or high-calorie foods while watching TV. Over time, those extra calories can contribute to weight gain, but the clock itself isn't the villain. Doctors dislike the myth because it turns nutrition into a superstition about time rather than focusing on total diet quality and portion control. Eating a balanced meal at 9 p.m. isn't biologically different from eating the same meal at 7 p.m. The real problem isn't the hour. It's the third bowl of chips that somehow appeared during the movie. 26. You must sweat to have an effective workout. Sweat has become the internet's favorite fitness trophy. If you leave the gym looking like you just ran through a rainstorm, people assume you had an incredible workout. If you don't sweat much, the internet suggests you basically just took a very energetic nap. But sweat is primarily your body's cooling system, not a scoreboard for exercise quality. Some people sweat heavily during mild activity, while others sweat less, even during intense workouts. Temperature, humidity, genetics, and fitness level all influence how much sweat your body produces. A person could complete an extremely effective strength workout and barely sweat, while someone else might sweat buckets during a warm yoga class. Doctors and exercise specialists dislike this myth because it encourages people to judge workouts by appearance instead of actual training effectiveness. Burning calories, building strength, and improving cardiovascular health have nothing to do with how soaked your t-shirt becomes. Sweat just means your body is regulating temperature, not awarding medals for effort. 27. Boosting. Your immune system will make you invincible. The internet absolutely loves the phrase, boost your immune system. Smoothies promise it. Supplements advertise it. Wellness influencers say it like they're unlocking a secret video game power-up. The implication is that if you boost your immune system enough, you'll become biologically untouchable. Viruses will bounce off you like rubber balls. The real immune system is far more complicated than that marketing slogan suggests. It's a complex network of cells, organs, and signals that needs balance, not constant stimulation. An overactive immune system can actually cause serious problems, including autoimmune diseases where the body attacks its own tissues. Doctors focus on supporting healthy immune function through sleep, balanced nutrition, vaccination, physical activity, and stress management, not through miracle powders promising superhero immunity. Doctors dislike the immune-boosting myth because it reduces complex biology into a catchy slogan. Your immune system isn't a muscle you can endlessly upgrade. It's more like a carefully tuned orchestra, and blasting the volume doesn't necessarily make the music better. Internet medicine is wild. Which tip deserves the gold medal for stupidity?